welcome back to my channel. Today I'm finally getting around to film my baby boys' names that I love but won't be using. The reason I'm not going to be using these is because we have two beautiful girls and we don't plan any more children, so I don't expect to be able to use any of these boys' names. I have a list of I think 22 boys' names that I liked. I pulled together a list of girls' and boys' names when I was pregnant with both girls, and then obviously we didn't use them. I did find out both times at my 20-week scan, I did ask if it was a boy or a girl because I like to be prepared. So yeah, we kind of stopped going through baby boy names after that, but we did have a fair few, so we've got plenty to share with you. This is my baby girl Alethea. She is almost 7 months old now. So yes, we have two beautiful girls and no boys to sadly use any of these names with. So let's get cracking and go through some of the names. So the first name on our list is Aiden, and I think probably like most people this reminds me of Sex and the City, but that's not the reason that I like it. I always really like that name. I definitely would consider it if I ever had a baby boy. Or if I was ever surprised with a baby boy in future. But yes, Aiden I think is a beautiful name, and definitely one I would consider. The next one is Harrison, and probably again this reminds everyone of Harrison Ford. There's always something with a name, isn't there? It's unusual to find a name that doesn't have some kind of connotation. But that aside, I still really like the name Harrison. I think it's quite a strong, but I don't know, I can imagine Harrison being quite a strong, sturdy man with a good job, maybe like a lawyer or something. Harrison? Or maybe an actor, who knows. The next one on my list is Aaron. And I know a lot of Aarons, so I don't know if we would have chosen this. Not because I don't like it, but because it's become more common where I stay. I do still really like the name though, Aaron. We have a really short surname though, so I think probably a longer name would have been better, but Aaron is still a beautiful name and one that I would have happily called a little boy. The next one on my list is Brodie. And again, that's becoming more common as well. It kind of reminds me of Brodie Jenner, which is not a good thing for me. But I like it Brodie spelled with an IE rather than a Y. I don't know why I like things ending in IE. I have a thing about things ending in a vowel. But yeah, I like Brodie. The next one on my list, number 5 on the list is Ethan. And again, reminds you of Ethan Hawke, doesn't it? And Ethan is becoming a more common name, I think, more popular. So probably one we wouldn't have chosen. It's not one that's on my husband's top 10 boys list, that's for sure. But I still really like it, Ethan. And the next one is Ewan, spelled E-W-A-N. And it's another one I really like, but we have a Ewan in the family, so we probably wouldn't have gone for that one either. What are you doing? Are you reading my book? Are you reading it? The next name on the list is Calvin. And apart from Calvin Klein, I didn't really know any Calvins until quite recently. My friend has started working with someone called Calvin. But I do like the name. Again, I think it's quite unusual, but without being really out there. But again, not my husband's favourite, so probably not one we would have chosen had we had a boy. The next one on my list is Noah, and that has always been one of my favourite names for a boy. Kind of because of Noah in the Ark, but that's not the only reason. I just really like the name Noah. I don't know what it is about it, but it is quite short with our surname, so I don't know if we would have used it. And we also have a friend who has called her baby Noah, so probably we wouldn't have, but I still really like that name. It's one of my favourites for a boy. The next one is Adrian, and if you remember and if you've watched our baby girls' names, we had Adriana on there, and I like Adrian as well. My husband felt like it was a bit of a pompous name. I don't really know why that was a problem, but Adrian, I think it's really nice. I think it's a really strong name. It's a nice long name to go with our short surname, but yeah, we'll never have a chance to use that one either. Caden is the next one on my list, and I think I got this from Jess fam on YouTube. I don't think I'd heard of it before then. Can't remember. But I really like that Caden. I think it's unusual enough without being out there as well. And I quite like a name that's sort of unique without being, I don't know, weird, if you like. Next one on the list, Dylan. I've always liked the name Dylan. I think it's kind of gone out of fashion, but it's coming back again. What is it? What is it? Yeah. Kind of reminds me of like Dylan Thomas or Bob Dylan. What's the matter? What's the matter? Do you not like that name? You not want to call our baby boy Dylan? No? Okay, okay. The next one on my list was definitely a sure possibility had we had a boy, and that's Campbell, and that's because that's my maiden name. And it's also quite a long name to go with our really short one-syllable surname. Campbell. That was definitely a surefire possibility because of that. We also have a friend whose boyfriend has a little boy called Campbell, so I don't know if we would have actually used it, but because it is my maiden name, I think we probably could have got away with it. What is it? Mwah. The next one on my list is quite similar, and that's Cameron, and I also really like that for a boy. It's quite a common surname in Scotland, but not a common forename, so that is definitely something that I might have been able to persuade my husband to choose as well. The next one on the list my husband does not like, and that's Elliott. Not sure why he doesn't like it, but Elliott. Do you like Elliott? I think it's a really cute boy's name. Again, it's quite a longer one to go with our short syllable surname. The next one on our list is Daniel, and that was also another possibility, one that my husband liked, but a friend of ours just recently had a baby called Daniel, so probably we wouldn't have used it, but Daniel has always been a name that I liked, and it's also another good Bible name. The next name on the list is Carter. So I think like a lot of people, the name Carter reminds me of ER, but I still really like the name, and it's definitely one I would have considered. The next name is Grayson, and I also really like this name. I can't remember where I got it from. Grayson. I feel like it's from a TV show or a book maybe. Comment below if you can work out where I might have got that from, but Grayson I really like. The next name on my list, number 18, is Kiren, but spelled Kiren, and that name means ray of light, and I like choosing names that mean something. So if you've seen my other video, you'll know that my elder daughter who's 3 is called Elena, and that means bright light or shining star, so that's quite similar. I like the idea that we might have if we had a boy, that their names might have a similar meaning. So Kiren, spelled Kiren, was definitely one that I liked, but my husband wasn't sold, but he could have been brought around, I think. The next name on my list is Jackson, and I like this name a lot, but it is definitely becoming more common as well. In the UK, Jackson, spelled Jackson, means God has been gracious, and I just think that's really sweet, because obviously God is very gracious to provide you with any beautiful, perfect child. You know, it's the ultimate blessing. So Jackson was definitely one that I liked, but again, it's becoming quite common, but probably spelled Jackson. Jackson is probably more common than the spelling that I like. 3 more names to go. So at number 20, we have Oliver. And I like this name, not just because of the movie, which has a lot of nostalgia for me, but I don't know, there's something about the name Oliver. I really like it. I like names that begin with a vowel. I don't know why. Although I prefer it when they end with a vowel too. So Elena and Alethea, for example. But yeah, Oliver I think would actually have gone quite well. Elena and Oliver, had we had a boy instead of this beautiful baby girl, would have gone quite nice. At number 21 is Tommy, and my husband or daddy's name is Thomas, so that is why Tommy is on the list. It would have been kind of naming after him, and I definitely think that was again a good possibility had we had a boy. Campbell is my maiden name, and Tommy were probably the 2 surefire possibilities, I think, had we had a boy. And finally, the last name on my boys list of names that we love but will not ever have the chance to use, probably, is Harvey, and my husband just doesn't like this name. Harvey, I think it, is it, I think some supermodel has a boy called Harvey. Not that that's anything to do with anything, but I'm not sure where else I might have heard it. But again, I think it's becoming something that's a bit more of a popular name. My husband's not keen on it. I don't know why. I think it makes him think of, you may as well call the baby Harry, not Harvey. He's not keen on Harvey. I don't know. Anyway, he's not keen on Harvey. We didn't get a chance to even argue about it because we've got a beautiful baby girl. Yes, we have. Say hello. So that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up below and let me know in the comments if there's any names that you really love but will never have the chance to use, and give us a reason why you wouldn't have the chance to use it. And we will see you in our next video. Say bye bye, Alethea. Bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.